What's going on, TIW Mafia? JP here with Big Joe.
What's going on, everyone?
A lot of shit to talk about this week. First of all, thank you. A lot of you guys have bought our merchandise off of Teespring. The link will be in the bio underneath here. If you're interested, great. You can use promo code TIW SHIP and get free shipping like the Haddocks boys did this morning. Thank you to Nick and the boys. Bobby D and Tommy Flynn will represent us at UFO Wrestling wearing the shirts. And my barber Mark bought one of the hoodies. So
it feels great to see that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use the word respect, but that kind of partnership with the fans. You know, they're willing to wear us out in public and spread the word about us through a T-shirt or a hat or whatever.
Yeah, and if you wear the shirt, I don't know who orders the shirts. We can see when shirts have been ordered. But take a picture in it or just send me a note and we'll give you a shout out on the show. I mean, we'll give you shout outs on the show anyway if you just ask usually. So,
yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all those guys. Like we had three, including me, there were three people wearing at UFO. There were three people wearing TIW shirts, which was really cool.
TIW stole the show.
I had people stopping me to take pictures. First of all, it was a great show. I want to take a moment. I didn't talk to you about this, Joe, but I didn't know this guy. But he wrestled on the show Friday night. And I know he's been in the area for a long time. Our paths had just never crossed. Big Jim, he passed away the other morning. And my interaction with him Friday night was great. Nice guy. I don't know what happened, but too young, too soon, and great talent and had great size to him. So thoughts to his family and friends.
It's a sad day when you see a worker pass away. It's a sad day when you see anyone pass away, but especially in a situation like you just said, you just saw him working on Friday, and then a couple of days later, he's gone.
Yeah, and I didn't know him. It's funny. I was sitting with a friend of mine, Steve Beck. Sorry, and we were talking because like a lot of the wrestlers that were on the show were smaller guys, and then come these two. He was part of a tag team. Come these two dudes that are both over 6 feet tall, and me and Steve were like, "Oh, this is going to be a match." These were two guys who looked like they could beat someone up. Got to see Alec Price
when we walk into a place, but
yeah, not so much. We got the size, and that's about it. But got to see Alec Price there. Alec Price came up and thanked us for us having him on the show and bringing him on to Vampiro's show, things like that, and it was a fun time. It was good to be. This was my first show back. My first time really going to a show since the pandemic ended, and it felt cool to see everybody. And
I don't think it really ended.
It was something.
I don't think the pandemic really ended yet.
No, but I mean, because everything. So since the shutdown, right? It was my first time going to a show, and it was just cool to see everybody. Like before I even walked into the show, I had people yelling my name, all pulling me over to have conversations. So.
That's cool.
Some potential guests coming out of those conversations, and
that's what I'm always on the lookout. Whenever I'm talking to somebody about the show, I'm like, "Well, can you get me somebody that can come on?" No, then I'm not going to talk about the show. Not that I'm not promoting it, but it's like I get more energy built up in me when someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, Joe, hey, I like your podcast. You ever think about getting this guy on or that girl on?" You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I like that. Like interest, and I instantly Google the person and send out an email.
It's funny. I'm looking for a new day job. I think I can say that safely. I don't think anyone from my current job listens.
So prostitution's not working out anymore.
No.
Sorry.
Everyone was asking for refunds, but they so I reached out to a couple of old friends who I know have companies and industries I'm interested in, and talking to one of them, he's like, "Oh man, I see that you're still doing the podcast, and I think that's great. That shows longevity." So like people, I know people who pay attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just really cool that we get that type of support now.
And again, getting back to the fan base, I love that. I love the interaction. Again, I haven't made it back out to any shows lately because I've had my illnesses, my surgeries, I'm a complete train wreck. But I'm going to get back out there.
To say the least.
Yeah, I'm like 2 train wrecks in a cruise ship that sank. But yeah, so I want to get back out there. I'll sit there and talk with a fan forever.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
And now, after that being said, like UFO always puts on a fun show. Like Pat does a great job, and me and you've known Pat like
growing up.
Yeah, way before wrestling. Like, and the fact that I'm able to do that with such a close friend and be involved is really just awesome.
Like we knew Pat back hanging on the corner when he was wearing his parachute pants.
Yes, him and his brother Chopper.
Yeah.
Who Chopper does his thing with the boxing.
Yeah. Chopper was always a good athlete.
Yes.
I think great baseball player. Talent, but he was good.
Now we got a lot to talk about. And I'm sort of setting up the ticker. There's $1,000 John Cena shirt out there.
I won't. $1,000 during a pandemic is a lot of freaking money. And real quick, so what's up, Joe Solenza? How you doing? You know,
AEW has their big show coming up. Of course, everyone knows somebody made a return to pro wrestling through AEW this week.
Yeah, that was a big name. That's not like I have an issue where people make their return when they never really left. Now, this individual was gone out of the industry for several years.
Yes, completely.
Well over 5 years he was out. And he made his return. That's momentous. That's huge. Now, I'm going to have I have a bone to pick with the WWE when they bring Brock Lesnar back again. Like, you don't make a return every 6 months.
Right. They've brought Goldberg back, and Goldberg's only come back a couple of times, but like he did not look good Saturday.
No, and then you get Brock Lesnar coming in looking like he has an onion on his head.
His whole head looked like an onion.
Yeah, it's like an onion on his neck. I don't think he has a humorous bone in his body.
And why was SummerSlam on a Saturday? I don't know about you, but that's completely inconvenient to me. Like, I'm a single guy. You know, I like to go out, have a life, and I did go out Saturday night, so I watched SummerSlam after everybody else. And unfortunately had to see spoilers because of that. So unfortunately,
I don't necessarily mind seeing the spoilers because chances are I might not be able to tune in at the time. So if I don't mind the spoilers.
I had to like sit there and watch, knowing what I was going to watch was subpar.
Yeah, it's tough when you see the same old things, it's the same old. It's almost like they're just like pulling up the same playbook but putting a different name in.
And there's things I'm looking forward to in the WWE. There really is. Like, I'm not one of those WWE haters.
I'm not a hater. It's kind of like I'm critical of it because I like it that much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I want to enjoy it, and I want to have fun. I want to, I wanted to bring me back to my childhood.
You want that 2-3 hour break from reality where you can just absorb it. But then it gets me like when you see that same thing, like, oh, here goes Lesnar again. Let me look at my phone.
The other thing that I saw was that the WWE, the network Saturday night had issues streaming again. So that's got to be something on the Peacock end.
Maybe that's why they're charging $1,000 a shirt so they can get a better server.
Well, all right. So here's the thing with that shirt is it has to do with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency started this stuff called non-fungible tokens, NFTs. So non-fungible means that it doesn't have a set value. It can change. Like a dollar bill is always going to be worth $1 other than collectibles or whatever. But it's always going to be worth $1. You know that. The non-fungible means It's something that is going to change in value. It's not going to have a set value ever. And so what they did was they came out with this non-fungible token, which is a digital card on your computer of John Cena, or trading card. 3D, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It, with that, you also get a shirt, a set of wristbands, a headband. There's a poster, and I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, there's an art print, but it's of the back of the T-shirt, which is a picture of John Cena's 16 championship belts, which is, it's the back of the T-shirt. The front of the T-shirt is awesome. It's John Cena doing the cover of Super Mario Brothers 3 in a cartoon form. It's a great T-shirt. It's probably the only T-shirt on the WWE site that I would buy. But not for $1,000.
Yeah, for $1,000, you won't. That shirt should be like gold lined. The stitches should be gold.
It is numbered, so like whatever number you are, there's only 500 of these being sold. If you're number 1, which they're under 100 sold so far.
Yeah. Still think about it. Say there's 90 sold. It's still $90,000 that somehow came in for putting out $100 worth of product.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It paid for itself already.
Yeah.
And somebody also, there was a 1-of-1 version of this NFT, which came with the full-size belt, custom full-size Cena belt. So the orange leather belt.
Yep.
Spinner with your name on it, and I think customized plates for you on the sides. And tickets to WrestleMania, either Dallas or Hollywood, ringside with like full access and hotel for 2. And somebody paid $21,000 for that.
Again, during a pandemic when people were starving and no one was working.
I was doing the math. Like, I was trying to just do it before the show and valuing the stuff. And I valued most of it pretty high, I think. And it's like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of stuff.
I mean, the belt alone can go anywhere from $500 to $1,500.
So people are banking on this digital card.
But what you can't do nothing with it.
I mean, eventually you could sell, you could trade it. Like, people are using this NFT market for like selling music and stuff like that, like anything digital.
Yeah, well, kind of like an iTunes type thing,
right?
Or like Napster used to be.
Yes, I miss Napster. But yeah, so it's crazy that almost 100 people bought this $1,000 package.
That's insane.
And you know what it is, Joe? It's a goddamn loot crate. It's a pro wrestling crate, just WWE branded.
Yeah,
is basically what it is. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. The shirt's very nice. I want the shirt. If you get $1,000 to blow on the shirt, then go for it. That's your thing.
Well, you know what's going to happen. WWE is going to eventually come out with a non-numbered version that's going to be slightly different. It might be a different color pattern or something like that, right. And they'll come out with that, and you get that for $25.
It's yeah, or it won't have the back on it, or it'll just have the back and not the front. Something, yeah.
But it's just insane. Like, I go out and like we go to a show. Like, we've gone to shows before, and like, you support the workers, you support the place. I'll drop $100 there. Whether I buy a concession or I buy someone's shirt or some merch or whatever, and it's like, oh, I spent $100.
Right.
I couldn't imagine the internal feeling to.
But that was because you bought 200 hot dogs.
Yeah. But hey, it's not my fault to sell them for 50 cents a piece.
That was quick math on your part. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, I'm not as dumb as you look.
No, but you're dumber than you look.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's I think I just insulted myself.
You did. Yeah, I'm wrong with that. I'll give myself a golf clap for that one.
Oh, all right. Screw you. I'm going home. Bye.
You are home. All right. Oh, so, like, what was your takeaway from overall for SummerSlam?
It was not good.
Yeah.
I was not entertained. I'd have to look at a rundown of the matches because obviously some matches were better than others. And if I look at a rundown right now, I'd be able to tell you which ones. Like they buried Bailey. All the building up they did of Bailey over the past couple of years, and they absolutely buried her.
They've done that. They've been notorious for that with different talents over the years.
Pinned clean within minutes, though, within seconds, really.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the first match up the door. Big E versus Baron Corbin.
It was that was a decent match, actually.
I want to see Big E. Now, I haven't seen all the matches. I've been watching whatever I can get my hands on. I want to see Big E come out of the cartoon character that they have him in.
They're trying to with him.
I want to see him come out because he's a worker. He can work. He's a big dude who can move.
I remember when he first started out, like the Big E Langston, and like you made fun of him because of his like awkward body.
But it's perfect for the business.
Yeah, you talk about barrel chested.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that was a good match. It was matches like definitely worse than that.
What about the Raw Tag Championship? AJ Styles and was it Omos versus RK Bro?
It was all right. It was all right. I like that they finally given RK Bro a chance.
Yeah, I just
That's
I've had issue with Randy Orton for years, as you know.
Yeah, he went AWOL and
yeah, but aside from that, though, I think it's his talent speaks for himself. He is a great talent. He can go the limit with anybody. But I just don't like what they've done with him in recent years of making him too gimmicky.
Yeah, but the thing with this is he's not. With this tag team, is his whole gimmick is he's not a gimmick.
Okay.
So it's him being frustrated with
Riddle doing all his thing. Yeah. I can see that, but it's just like, the Viper was a great run for him, and they got to, I guess he's still trying to keep that going, but, they just keep putting him in different things, and it's weird.
Right. But I think he's good for Riddle, too. I think he probably keeps Riddle a little more leveled.
Yeah, and I think what I see happening with that, too, is eventually, the tag team's going to split because it's not a natural team, like the Usos. They're going to always get back together no matter what separates them. But right. so Orton
until one of them winds up in jail for a good stint.
Yeah, it happens. But like with Riddle and Orton, that's kind of like a created tag team. They're not natural. Something's going to happen. I kind of foresee Riddle getting the push higher, and Orton staying still, like going back to.
Yeah, Orton's had the push. Orton's been the champ. Yeah. He's been to the top.
But then again, so isn't Charlotte Flair, and you got her running the belt again.
Right. But she hasn't been around the amount of time Orton has either.
Well, Orton's one of the last leftovers from the Attitude Era.
Right. Let's see. Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. I'll be honest, I don't remember it.
I haven't seen that one, but what I understand, it was very quick.
I don't remember it at all. So that's how good that one was. Maybe I went and got a drink or something. I don't know.
You probably could have blinked your eyes and it's gone.
Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal.
How was that one?
The best part of the match was after it was Drew McIntyre swinging the sword at everybody. He damn near decapitated one of Jinder Mahal's little lackeys there.
Oh, damn.
Like he was just swinging it as they got out.
Yeah.
And it did look pretty damn close. Like, I'm sure the sword's just a blunt object, but he still swung. Like, he swung for
Yeah.
the fences.
But even so, just the size and the shape of that can do some damage alone.
And then, let's see. The United States Championship, again, I don't remember it. Sheamus and Damian Priest, but I am so glad they put the title on Priest.
Yeah.
As much as I like Sheamus, like, I think Priest deserves it.
Well, like I like Sheamus because, like, not only that is he a good worker, but he fits our gimmick.
Yes, he does.
You know, he fits our gimmick, and he's a good worker. But again, with him, I haven't seen any evolution on him. It's been the same. You know, there's no growth. It's all the same.
Right. Yeah, that's and he's done a lot though. I don't remember any of these damn matches, Joe.
Well, what about Edge and Seth Rollins? Edge came out to the Brood music.
Yes. And that was cool.
That's going to be
I was just reading on WrestlingNewsSource.com today, though. Shout out to those guys. They're great partners over there.
Oh, yeah.
The best news site.
Ben runs a good ship over there.
So I was just reading on that apparently Edge called Gangrel after that and apologized because Gangrel was going to get some kind of shot with AEW.
Yeah.
And they pulled it because of that.
Oh, no.
So because the Brood wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been a big deal, basically.
That sucks.
So Edge called Gangrel and apologized apparently, and
I've always liked Gangrel. I like that in like one of those that's still living his gimmick.
Yeah, and he can still work.
Yeah, I've seen some highlights of him going.
If you get a chance to see Gangrel on an independent show or anywhere, any show, you take that opportunity.
Oh, yeah, he can take a bump. He can take the bump, and he's a leader in the locker room too.
So, yeah, but I do think it's cool that Priest is getting the opportunity, and I hope they give him a good run with it. I think he'll make a good champ. I think he'll represent them well.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's Punishment Martinez, who's been around. Like, he's been around for a long time, whether it's been Ring of Honor or any of the independents. So
yeah, and that's the thing now. Like I remember back, not maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was tough to jump from promotion to promotion. Now you're going from, one promotion one night and then a different promotion the next night.
Right. Yeah.
And then a week later, you're back.
And we're over here jumping match to match because of me. I just went back a match. But, the Brood thing was really cool. I just hope that if it did cost AEW's done right by a lot of people business-wise, it seems, like keeping promises and reimbursing sponsors for transportation for wrestlers that they were booked and didn't use.
That's good.
Which a lot of companies wouldn't have done. So hopefully they make good and they do something with Gangrel down the line.
I'd like to see that.
I think that's it. Overall, it was like, if at best, and this is like that teacher being nice to the kid who, you feel like the kid tried really hard on the test, but just couldn't get it right. I'd say it was like a C-.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah. It just wasn't, like I said, I don't remember a lot of the matches. I know at one point I woke up in the middle of the Usos Mysterios match.
Yeah. Well, you fall asleep on the crapper.
I'm not as bad anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's okay when you're in your own house. I've seen you do that on a porta potty.
No, you took the picture of me at the show in Texas where I fell asleep.
You were out cold at that show. What was that?
That was your fault, though.
Why? Because I'm a boring guest?
Because you took the freaking bed the whole time.
Yeah, but I get that back issue.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I'm older.
By a what? How much?
It's less than a year, but it's still older.
Yeah, that's for those who don't know. WrestleMania 25, and this is how long I hold a grudge for. We're going on 14 years. Me and Joe went to Houston to watch WrestleMania with Robbie Gilmore, Rockstar Robbie Gilmore.
At the time he was wrestling from Booker T out of Booker T's promotion down
So
there.
we got to do some cool stuff that weekend, and I was exhausted all weekend because it was like a 4 or 5 day weekend. It wasn't just like we went Saturday and Sunday. We went for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was Thursday to a Tuesday.
And Robbie put us up in his house, which was awesome. We didn't have to pay for a hotel. It was really cool. His family was amazing.
And then shuttling us around. Hey, I gave you the front seat in his little truck.
Yeah. And Joe said, "Oh, can I get the bed the first night? We'll switch off." I said, "Whatever." And then the second day, we wake up and he says, "Oh, by the way, I slept naked last night. The bed's mine all week."
Yep.
I couldn't argue with that.
I didn't sleep naked.
I did.
I know. You know.
The good thing was I had the room with the TV in it, so
that you did. But your couch was in a little bit of you can call it a room, but it's more of a hallway.
Right, and it was sort of like a love seat, not a couch.
I mean, at this point, I don't care. We both should have shared the bed. It was a good sized bed.
You're an ass.
Why? Come on.
Now you're saying this, and you know what? Back then I wouldn't have, but now I would have. I've shared beds before.
Yeah, cuddle up a little bit of spooning, never hurt nobody.
You show up at a promoter tells you, "Hey, I got a show in Connecticut. I got a room for you and one of the other ring crew guys." And we show up and there's one bed. Thanks, Caleb.
Oh, you got to ask them for a cot. Cost you $5 or something.
Yeah, no, we didn't even bother.
Yeah.
It was a king size bed. It was fine.
Oh, so
nobody touched. It was somebody, and it's funny because it was with somebody, and I won't name names, who is no longer in the business because of things like Me Too movement type of stuff. I'll let you use your imagination.
I have ideas.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to talking about wrestling real quick, and everyone can, take the image of me sleeping naked, put it in their spank bank for later. But last week I watched my first actual start to finish AEW Dynamite.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked the product. You can tell that they some of the workers haven't worked together as much because there was a little bit of sloppiness, but I mean, amazing still. We had some of our local guys on there.
Well, a ton of them.
It's
basically the Beyond locker room with Chris Jericho and the stars, the superstars, if you will.
Exactly. And like watching Josh Briggs using that sledgehammer on the giant tire, like he doesn't look that jacked when you see him, but when he's swinging a sledgehammer, his arms are enormous.
Are you talking NXT or AEW?
I don't fucking know.
No, that
was NXT. AEW? That was NXT. My bad. The AEW Dynamite I watched. Oh shit! Who did? Man. All right, now
Christian Casanova just won the AEW. He just won the prospect tournament in AEW, NXT rather. Now you got me doing it.
This is a good time to reach in and tell people for a mental health minute. I'm dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and ADHD. That combination wrecks my memory. So
and
a lot of
I have to deal with Joe.
Huh?
He's dealing with all that, and I have to deal with him.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah. It's like trying to corral a couple cobras that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're angry, and they want to bite you in the ass.
Guys, make sure you guys are commenting, too. If you guys comment, we'll make sure we get it up on the board.
Yeah, so that's why my memory's shot with things like that. I'll watch one thing, and I'll put it somewhere else, but it's all good.
And we got the wheel to spin, too. We didn't we had some technical issues last week. on my end, my fault. And so we didn't spin the wheel last week, so I left it up for another week.
Let's
and
go.
We're gonna spin it this week, and it's it's a cool ass figure. It's the Macho Man WrestleMania Moments figure, WrestleMania Celebration figure, I think they call it. So it's got the old WrestleMania 3 ring that they came out in.
I love Macho Man.
But remember how they brought them? I think it was WrestleMania 3. They brought them out in the
little like one person,
the little ring card thing.
Yep.
So it's got that. It's got him standing in that. It's
go.
a figure. I actually own the figure. I don't collect a lot, but I had that, and I have the Andre one.
You collect
from
like
that same
biggest.
set.
You have the biggest collection of shoes that are giant.
Yes.
You and your giant feet.
That's not wrong. I do have a good, decent shoe collection, and my feet are giant.
Were they size 21 or something like that?
15.
That's a big foot.
You keep insulting me, you're gonna fill it up your fucking ass.
Yeah. How do you know I'll feel it?
You might not, and I've heard some things. Now, guys, just so you know, you can follow it. Like, you get that. The way to sign up for the figure is we usually post something Mondays or Tuesdays on Twitter with what figure it is and what you got to do to win. It's really as simple as retweeting the tweet. Almost no matter what instructions I put down, as long as you retweet the tweet, we're gonna put it out there. We're gonna put you on the wheel. When we spin the wheel, you get an opportunity to win. I gotta add a couple people, because if you take a picture with your shirt, with the Irish Whip shirt on, you do get an extra chance. So Tommy Flynn, Bobby D, you guys both get extra spots on the wheels this week.
There you
go. Nick Haddix, I'm sure your boys will all have an extra spot on the wheel once you get your shirt. And we got some cool stuff coming. I got a couple of T-shirts coming that are fitted for something a little smaller than us. Yeah. I have some T-shirts coming that are fitted for action figures. There'll be Irish Whip, just like the shirts that all those guys that I just named are gonna have. And they're not gonna be for sale though, not yet. Anyway, they're gonna be giveaways for a while.
We have some pretty decent upcoming guests, some potential for some. We're in the talks with some classic wrestlers. Next week, you know who we have? A favorite of ours, the original Sin.
Yes, Sin Bodhi. He's done some huge stuff. And you know what? I'm going to have to find a really cool figure to give away next week with his.
I think I know who we should do.
Because he's a huge figure collector.
He makes his own.
And he's a customizer. Yeah, he customizes figures. He does a lot of the old LJNs, which is awesome. I mean, that's my childhood.
Yeah.
I was looking through a box. Yeah, Pat Shows, one of the vendors, had a box of those loose. And they were like $15 a piece, and I was just flipping through it. But then it's like, I don't like having, like, I collect my figures in the box. I leave them in the box, the few that I have. And I don't like shopping through other people's loose stuff. I'm not a germaphobe or anything, but you have no idea what that kid was doing with that figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they're probably the ones I wound up giving away several years ago.
Yeah, I did the same thing with mine. There was probably a house worth, Joe.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I do regret giving away was my collection of every Stone Cold T-shirt there was throughout the Attitude Era.
Who did you give that to?
Goodwill.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was just a lapse in judgment. I was like, you know what? I got to get rid of something. And wasn't wearing them really at the time. Had a couple of them.
And now wrestling shirts are late, especially those vintage ones.
Yeah.
Although yours probably wouldn't fit you anymore.
No, they were all 2X. I can do it. I just got, still got a little bit of belly.
Do a couple sit-ups in the morning before you put it on.
I sit up and grab another piece of cake or another cookie. That's about it.
But yeah, that's it was just those shirts are like really, really popular right now.
Yeah, they're probably $50 a piece if I was to resell them.
In fact, looking through if you look through Anthony Green's videos, He does a video where he goes through all of his wrestling T-shirts, and he's got like 300 or 400 of them. And one of them is actually one of the original Autism 316 shirts.
Yeah, I still have that.
I said that correctly, guys. So that was the wrestling Autism shirts back in the day and there was only 25 of those ever made.
Yeah.
And we sold those for $25, except for WrestleMania. If you remember WrestleMania, I think me and you both had one in our pocket that was like a double X.
Yeah.
And if we got close enough to Cena, we were going to try to throw it to him. Because we weren't trying to rip him off.
Yep.
By any means. Sort of paying tribute in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Just had a couple of people come into the live. Thank you guys. If you guys comment wherever you're listening from, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, it looks like most of them are from your Facebook.
Hello, people. I don't know.
Go ahead and comment on that if you share it, whatever. If you do comment, we'll throw it up on the screen. I can't believe people came to see you.
I don't know. It's probably people that I owe them money or something.
Oh, that's a long list.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. What did you? So you enjoyed your first AEW Dynamite, huh?
Say that again.
You enjoyed your first AEW Dynamite? I
did. Yeah, it was a very, very good watch, and like I was entertained. You know what I'm saying? It brought back that entertainment value for me, and because it wasn't where I lost a lot of the entertainment value with the WWE, where it's like 20 minutes to talk, 10 minutes of a wrestling. It wasn't like that. It brought back an even split. And I enjoyed it.
And thank you to the we got somebody on Twitch. We're not big on Twitch yet. I think that might be something we push down the line. So thank you for that.
I didn't even know we were there.
Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere. So and guys, if you want to download this later, anywhere you download your podcasts, Spreaker, Podbean,
iTunes,
any podcasting site, Apple, iTunes, Amazon podcasts,
Spotify,
all of it. We're there. Just look up the Irish Whip. It's us. Yeah. If it's not us, tell us about it. We'll get rid of the imposters.
We did that before. Some guy tried to start a Irish Whip Wrestling website. Remember that? About 10 years ago.
And there's there was Irish Whip Wrestling in Ireland.
Yeah.
And they were along before us, but we've never we've interacted with them a little.
Yeah, it's kind of like we got that lesson. We told them we weren't gonna put out a show in that name.
Right. So
Ego, cut it out.
Joe talking to one of the women he's got locked up there.
Yeah, named Igor. Little black
pug. Your co-pilot, I saw.
Yep.
Why do you let the dog sit in your lap when you're driving?
I was just in the parking lot going to pull in.
Dangerous.
I know, but I was 10 feet from that spot.
Yeah.
Hey, trust me, you know me. That's not the dumbest thing I've done.
No, not by far. Not by far. Yeah, but yeah, so wrestling, right now, if you think about it, right? So you got AEW Dark on YouTube. You got NXT on Tuesdays. You got AEW on Wednesdays. What day is it? What day is the new AEW show on Rampage?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. But you still have what the hell?
Monday Night Raw. You got SmackDown. It's getting back to those Attitude Era days.
Yeah, there's 3 companies to compete against each other now.
I mean, there's still really only 2.
Yeah, I mean TNA's still there.
Yeah, but they're like
they're like a televised indie in a sense.
It's not a good TV deal though.
Yeah.
And I love a lot of guys there. Like Eddie Edwards is a good friend.
Yeah.
There's so many guys there that we're friends with.
They just signed the real Melina from They just signed her, so she's back on TV.
And I know they got Lisa Marie there, and they're doing NWA, who has their show on YouTube. Again, not a real TV deal, but they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
They got an all-women show coming up that's being run by Lisa Marie and all those veterans. So
And they got
Mickey
73rd
James.
anniversary of the NWA pay-per-view coming up soon.
Yeah, so there's a lot there, and like it's hard to believe that Billy Corgan is the one, holding the realms there.
Smashing pumpkins to smashing chairs.
Yeah. So it's a good time. It really is to be a wrestling fan, because guess what? Like, there's going to be people out there that bitch about the WWE, that complain about AEW, that NWA isn't as traditionally it used to be. Impact isn't on TV. Well, guess what? Maybe that's not your cup of tea, but it might be the person down the street.
Yep, and that's the thing. Like for me, like I'm gonna pick out what I like and don't like about it and talk about it here, but I'm still gonna watch.
Right.
If I can. My life's crazy right now, but if I can.
I just watched a YouTube thing. I really listened to it. And I won't even say who it was, because it's somebody I used to highly respect, and now I don't at all. Like at all. And he put out there that WWE fans are not pro wrestling fans. Nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the fact of sports entertainment or pro wrestling either.
Well,
Now, so who knows about WWE?
the fans.
If you walked outside and you yelled out in front of 100 people, who has heard of WWE? How many people are going to raise their hands?
Everybody.
If you yell out how many people have heard of AEW, who's going to raise their hands?
Half of them.
Right, and then it goes down from there, and half of them is a high number for AEW probably.
Yeah.
So, and that's so not saying that WWE fans aren't real pro wrestling fans.
Well,
They are, but they're not the fans that are going to go out and Google every other product.
Well, it's like you just said. Like, if you go outside and yell, who knows about WWE? Everybody will raise their hand. If you go up the same thing, who knows about AEW? Wrestling fans will answer.
Right. Because like to find AEW, you kind of, I mean, they've been smart and they've put some ads on Raw.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But to really know what AEW is, you sort of have to be a pro wrestling fan.
Yeah. Especially to get it.
And same thing with the NWA or Impact, like even more so.
Yeah. They each have their niche, but it's just going to take some time for them for the casual fans to find out about it all.
AEW, I mean, they tried. Like, I know they had that Go Big show where it was like a competition show with Snoop Dogg as a judge and Rosario Dawson, and they had Cody Rhodes as a judge. Like, he didn't belong on that. Like, Cody Rhodes isn't the same star that Snoop Dogg or
nowhere near the same caliber.
Right, but they managed to get him on there as a judge. And things like that is good for AEW. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Their money backing for AEW is immense.
Yeah.
A lot more than Vince.
So here's something I'm going to Google right now. The president of the WWE. Do you know his name?
No.
It's Nick Khan.
Of the WWE?
Yes.
The president of WWE is Nick Khan.
Right.
Okay.
K-A-H-N. You know what the owner of AEW's name is?
Tony Khan.
Right.
Interesting.
And I don't know this, but I mean, I'm Googling it, and apparently other people have, because it came up as like a top Google search. And I'm Googling, are Nick Khan and Tony Khan related? They don't look alike by any means.
Doesn't have to be blood. I mean, not blood. Doesn't have to be like brother, father, son. It could be cousin. It could be.
But I mean, Nick Khan left a career as a promising attorney to become a media executive. He was co-head of television at talent and sports agency CAA before the WWE last year. just bought a house worth $7.6 million. So he's worth a couple of bucks.
And looking at Nick Khan and looking at Tony Khan, it's not even him though; it's his father. Tony Khan.
So, Nick Khan and Tony Khan related. People seem to think so, and I'm getting this off of the Focus.news. I don't know how legitimate this site is, but and I'm reading directly from there just to credit them. So, are Nick Khan and Tony Khan related? People seem to think so because of the surname and familiar careers, but according to the Wrap, the pair are not related. Despite having the same surname, Tony Khan's father is from Lahore, Pakistan, while both of Nick's parents are Iranian. So, apparently not.
Oh.
That's hashtag not breaking news, guys.
But, I mean, that's probably what led to a lot of the rumors of the WWE selling out.
Yeah, just so you guys know, our shop address, it is in the post. It's the-irish-whip.creator-spring.com to get to our store. We had everything. I mean, there's t-shirts, there's hoodies, there's mugs, stickers. I know you love stickers, Joe.
Yep.
They're not color forms, though.
They're not shrinky dink?
They're not shrinky dink. They're not color forms. But they are all up there. You guys you don't have to by any means. And you can use code TIW SHIP for free shipping.
I mean, there's even masks and neck gaiters and things like that up there for people too.
The neck gaiters are cool too because they made it look like the bottom half of your face is basically the skull.
There you go.
I think the real skull I used. And it's just fun stuff. It's there's some cool stuff up there, like things I didn't know we could get in sweatpants, leggings, and like the t-shirts are you have your choice on. Basically, there's a price point out there for everybody. I did everything from premiums to the basic t-shirt. So, and I can tell you they use Hanes. So it's not like Gildan. It's not, some no name. It's Hanes t-shirts. And so high quality stuff. Today's episode is brought to you by DB. DB is a Scandinavian brand that makes backpacks and bags to help people on the move stay ready for anything. From streets to the peaks, DB's gear is travel tested by some of the world's best athletes, adventurers, and creators. Over the past decade, DB has designed and developed, released and refined the best bags in the market. With DB's patented hookup system, you're able to attach smaller products to your backpack, roller, or tote. Guys, you know damn well when you're traveling and you don't have enough pockets, there's not enough room in your bag, you still got something, just clip it on, and you're good to go, whether it's going through the TSA checkpoint, going from the car to the hotel room, or you're, backpacking through the Elks. We are teaming up with DB to exclusively offer our listeners 10% off your next purchase by using the code POD10 or go into the link in our show notes. DB, it's time to move on. Time to get going. Should we spin the wheel? We've shot the shit for like 50 minutes.
Yeah, we've mentioned spinning the wheel. So let's spin it.
I'm going to bring it up right now. The music that I'll probably play during the spinning the wheel will be Wins and Losses by our buddy Mike over at Chaos Theory Podcast. Cool thing is he's doing music for Lisa Marie now.
Nice.
It's a different type of podcasting world now. Like, we used to be against each other. Remember, like, everyone hated each other?
Yeah, it's one big family.
Yeah, and it's, let's add, Bobby D took a picture with the t-shirt with with me in it.
Food for a day. Ain't really wanna snap, but you rappers on the way down. I'ma
Tommy
fight
Flynn.
till my last breath, never lay down. Hear you talking shit, but I don't care what you say now. Hustle till I hit $1 billion.
I'm sure the Haddocks boys will as well.
I'm just on this podcast, tip to hit a lick while you mumble mouth rappers on your knees, suck a dick. Claim to be a fighter, but we know that you's a bitch. Have you hoes ain't even
awkward
writing
silence
all
I
the
always
lyrics
leave
that you
around
spit.
this point.
I've been putting in work, but y'all don't know what it is to work a 90-hour week just to feed your kids. I've been down in the gutter, fight my way to the top. Thanking God for all my people who ain't letting me stop. 24 balls in and I'm only getting better. Ho, sticking up the whole rap game.
I think I shuffled it enough.
I'd say so.
Make sure I'm showing it.
That's part one.
What's weird is I can watch this on my big screen, and
Just
I always
wait.
come back here to watch it.
Part two coming soon.
Let's see who it's gonna be.
Creature of habit doing it that way.
Who it's gonna be? Is it gonna be Tommy Flynn with the free?
Oh, just missed it.
And that's how you can tell it would have been his free one too, was that it's just his name, not his Twitter, because it wasn't from a tweet. Eric Ellerman. Not a name I know, but Eric, when you listen into the show, make sure you reach out to us. And you're going to want to shoot us your address, and we'll get you the figure. Thank you. And we always appreciate all of your support, guys.
Absolutely.
It means a ton to us. Like when people do stuff like just that simple retweet, man. I'll be honest, that was supposed to be something me and Josh did for like a month.
The free
and then
fig?
I said, Josh, we can't stop doing it because they keep retweeting us.
Yeah.
And it's just something now that we just do, and it's worked into the show's economy.
Yeah.
So
it's fun. It's interactive.
Yeah, exactly. We get to talk to people.
The listeners.
And if you ever want to message us, go ahead and message us. Like, I know Nick Haddocks, like I look forward to every couple of days. We're going to get a, hey guys, have a great day from him.
Yeah.
You know, him and the boys, they are great. So even if you can't, you know, like I said, I've talked about the merch store a couple of times. Like if you can't afford merch, it ain't even about that, guys. Just tune in, listen to us, interact with us. I know Bobby D's on vacation, and that's why the chat rooms, I call it the chat room still, I'm old school. But that's why the comments were sort of slow rolling in.
I'm sure he'll listen to this on the replay.
Yes, I'm sure he'll have to download for when he's coming back. He told me he was going to wear the shirt all week, though.
There you go.
So I hope, Bobby, I know you're listening. I hope you're enjoying your camping trip, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Look forward to the next show.
Yes, we do. And
now,
go ahead.
What else do we got? I mean, we got the original Sin next week. You want to talk about our history with him for a few minutes?
Yeah. One of the first guests we had on back when it was internet radio.
Yeah. He was right before TV. He was about to make the SmackDown debut.
And he only had tattoos on his arms.
Is that right?
Yeah. He wasn't fully covered like he is now.
So he had he was just about to do a SmackDown debut, and I think he knew it at the time. And that fizzled out real quickly, like it was what it was. And he's had like a great career without the WWE.
Yeah.
You know, he does his thing in Vegas now, I think.
Yep. And he does a lot of it with Jake the Snake now.
Yep. Trains with Jake. And that was one of his goals, if you remember, that he had said on the show at one point, was to like be Jake's bump guy at seminars and stuff, and that's what he's become. Yeah, and so he runs his own thing. He's got the what's the name of it? It's like Weird Wrestling or something.
I'm drawing a complete blank on it right now. Freak Show Wrestling or something like that, maybe? No? That's something different?
It might be. Let's see. Yeah, Freak Show. Sin Bodhi is the creator of Freak Show Wrestling, which is the funkiest, most violent show in the galaxy. Features a smorgasbord of wrestling, magic, burlesque. Oh, burlesque. Let's not go there. Circus, comedy, and music.
Remember we went to that show with a guest we had before? Where the girl peed standing up on stage?
Like 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Yep. Into a snow cone. That's all that thing was.
Yeah.
It was a paper cone.
The things we've seen and done on this show.
And it's all been your fault.
I know, because I'm an enabler.
You call me up and you say, hey, Sosei's doing a show. You want to go? And I'm thinking it's going to be like a hip-hop show because Sosei did hip-hop. Shame on me for not asking.
Sosei the elemental wizard.
Remember the girl that did those things with the teddy bear?
Yes. Yeah, I had nightmares.
Scarred for life.
Yep.
But they all came up to us at the end. All of the people that were on the show came up to us at the end. They're like, what are you 2 straight guys doing here? And we're like, we came to watch Sosei rap. And they're like, that makes sense.
We came to watch support a guy that supported us. We should try to reach out to him and get him on again.
He's so he's not rapping anymore. He is a family man. He's married, and him and his husband have 2 adopted kids. Nice. At least 2 adopted kids. You know what's crazy is I won't get into it too much because it's about time to wrap up. But talking to my buddy Eric Tapout, who, yes, I'm friends with Eric Tapout. If you all get an issue with that, go whatever. Take it up with me. Take it up with him. Neither one of us care. He's been out of the business for a few years now. But he used to run shows in Jersey where he mixed sort of wrestling and hip hop and music. And I noticed he was friends with Sosei. So I was like, how do you know Sosei? And he's like, I used to book him on shows. So he used to be like one of the promoters in New York and New Jersey for Sosei.
Nice. Small world.
That wasn't his cup of tea either. So.
Oh, yeah. And after we get Kizani on next week, we have potential for 2 other pretty big guys. One of them was just doing, I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm just going to say it'll be explosive. He was out doing press for SummerSlam out in Vegas. And, he's a old school guy back in the day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
And we have another one that we're in talks. We're communicating with that's going to blow your mind. It's going to be a good one.
I don't even know who he's talking about now. I know the first one, but
the email response we got today.
Yeah. That'll be a fun one, but I don't know if that one. I just don't have faith in that one, to be honest with you.
No, you know what?
We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna have faith until I find out different.
Yeah, that's where we're different.
Yeah.
But that's no, I'm definitely, especially with that first one. And I have an idea for the second one, but I just don't know how to pull it off. I'd have to talk to a few people.
Yeah.
But we could definitely do it and make it work for everybody.
And then with that, if anybody is listening and wants us to get a certain somebody on, reach out.
Yeah, tell us. Like we have fun with the interviews.
Oh, yeah. Tell us to reach out to them. Tell them to reach out to us. Whatever. We'll get them on. We'll talk to anybody. Like we did before. I got someone from The Walking Dead. We get the Honey Badger now, Seth Gillian. And then we had my friend Brett Stuhl, who's a tattoo artist. We had him come in for a little bit talking about, tattoos and wrestling and different things like that. So we'll get anybody on. It's just
you didn't tell me Brett Stuhl has like the biggest collection of fucking wrestling LJN figures in the world.
Oh yeah, by the way, my friend Brett, he has the biggest collection of LJN figures in the world.
Like one of like 3 or 4 people that have the full collection.
Yep.
Yeah. That's stuff that would have been good to know going in.
He's a pretty badass tattoo artist too.
Yeah, he does. I'm friends with him now, so I see all his work, and it
looks like a sticker.
His stuff off
recently. It looks like a damn sticker.
So,
all right.
But guys, check us out at 3 Irish Boys. I'm JP Griffin on Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff.
I'm Joe Nee. Everywhere you got to see it.
TIW Big Joe, and like I said, at 3 Irish Boys. Link for this merch is in the description of the show. That's all, guys.
All right. See you next Thursday.